Have you ever felt it? That cold chill crawling down your spine when you realize you're not alone, not just in the room, but in the darkness. The feeling that something is watching, waiting, and closing in. Well, tonight, we're going deep into 3 high schools where that feeling isn't just paranoia, it's very real. 3 schools where the echoes of the past have bled into the present, haunting every corner, every hallway, every shadow. And what I'm about to share may make you think twice about ever walking alone in your school at night again. Kaimuki High School in Hawaii has always had a reputation, one drenched in fear. It's said that at night something lurks within the shadows of those old, creaking walls. And what's worse, it's not just a ghost, it's something much darker.
I remember one time we decided to stay late, playing basketball in the gym, the usual stuff, playing around, talking smack on each other, you know what I mean? But as the night dragged on, the mood shifted. My buddy John said he felt something cold wrap around his neck. At first we all laughed it off. We thought he was messing with us, but then John collapsed to the floor, grabbing his throat, gasping, his face turning red. We all just panicked. We were just kids, you know? We rushed over to him to pull him up, but we just couldn't move him. The worst part? We never saw anything on him. We didn't see what was choking him. His face was getting redder and he looked so scared. Hell, I was scared. We all were. Finally, I just yelled out, "Stop it, please stop, you're killing him." And just like that, the choking stopped. He sat up gasping for air. We all looked around, not really sure of what happened. But we just grabbed his arms, pulled him up and started running towards the gym doors. But then we all heard it. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate footsteps coming closer and closer. We figured it was a janitor or something, that we were busted and were going to get suspended. But when we turned around, there was a large figure at the end of the hall, barely visible, almost like a dark fog, but shaped like a person. It just there, staring at us. And that's when we knew whatever had attacked John, it wasn't human. We never stayed late at the school after that.
Villa Rica High School in Georgia stands on land stained by history, a Civil War battlefield where the dead outnumbered the living. But time didn't erase the memories from that soil. And for some students, it never will. It was a quiet night, an after-hours detention. A few students stuck in the classroom, the sound of their teacher's pen scribbling across paper the only noise, until suddenly it wasn't. It started with a low hum, like a distant rumble. At first no one paid attention, but then it grew louder and louder. The teacher looked up, confused, just as the classroom windows began to rattle. The students froze. What was that noise? Thunder? No. It was too rhythmic, too deliberate. Suddenly it was like they were in the middle of a war zone. Gunshots, cannon fire, the deafening sounds of battle filled the air. The teacher stood trying to calm the students, but the panic set in quickly. They rushed to the windows, expecting to see cars or construction work, but instead they saw nothing. Nothing but an empty field stretching out into the night. And then they saw them. Soldiers, faint transparent figures marching across the fields. One by one they appeared, their faces blank, their eyes hollow. The sounds of battle raged around them, but these soldiers, these ghosts, just kept walking, marching toward the school. One of the students screamed, they're coming straight for us." But the teacher didn't believe it, until the walls started shaking. That night, everyone left Villa Rica shaken to their core, but it's said that some of those students never stopped hearing the marching. Lambton High School. There's something about Lambton High School in Canada. Maybe it's the fact that it was built over an old cemetery. Maybe it's the fact that no one really knows how many bodies were disturbed when construction began. But what everyone agrees on is this: Lambton isn't like other schools. Students have felt it. the presence watching them, breathing down their necks in empty classrooms. But one story stands out. It happened to a girl, alone, after hours, in one of the older classrooms. She was finishing up a project, but the feeling hit her like a wave. Someone, or something, was standing right behind her. She glanced over her shoulder. Nothing. But the air felt thick, heavy. She kept working, trying to shake the feeling, but it only got worse. The hair on the back of her neck stood up, and then the whispers started. Faint at first, like someone talking just out of earshot. She whipped around, convinced someone was messing with her, but the room was empty. Her heart pounded as she gathered her things, ready to leave. But as she reached for the door, it slammed shut by itself. She tried to pull it open, but it wouldn't budge, and then the lights flickered. That's when she saw it. In the reflection of the glass, just for a split second, there was someone standing behind her. Not a person, a shadow. No face, just darkness. She bolted from the room the second the door released her, but some say that shadow never really leaves. It's still there, waiting. 3 schools, 3 stories, and the terrifying truth is that we're never truly alone. We just don't always know what's standing in the shadows, watching, waiting. So, the next time you find yourself in an empty hallway or working late in an old classroom, listen carefully. You might just hear something behind you, and if you do, don't look back. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, you're braver than most. But if you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button. You never know what might be lurking in the next video.